is example 1 from the Solving Rational Equations lab. We want to solve for x from the following equation. What we're going to note first is the values that x cannot be. We know that when we have a number and we try and divide it by 0, it is undefined. So from that, we know that this 2 cannot be divided by 0. So we know that x cannot be 0. And from this fraction right here, we can't divide -5 by 0. So x cannot be -3. So, noting that, we move on to find the LCD. So the LCD for this entire equation will be x times x plus 3, because x and x plus 3 are the only denominators and they have no factors in common. So the LCD will just be those two multiplied together. And we are going to multiply this LCD to the entire equation itself on both sides. So we have x times x plus 3 times 2 over x plus 2. And we have -5 over x plus 3 times x plus 3, such as that. So we're going to multiply all of this by each term in the brackets. So multiplying 2 over x by x times x plus 3, we'll notice that these x's will cancel for this term right here. So the only thing that's actually being multiplied is 2 times x plus 3. So we're left with 2 times x plus 3 for this term. Moving on to this 2 has no denominator to cancel, so it's simply going to just be an entire multiplication. So it's 2x times x plus 3. On the right side, we have a denominator of x plus 3, and we're multiplying by x plus 3. We'll cancel. And so we're left with just -5x, such as that. We're going to continue our multiplication. So we have 2x plus 6, multiplying this through right here. And multiplying this 2x, such as this, we get 2x squared plus 6x for this term right here is equal to -5x. So now we're going to put everything to one side and equal it to 0 because we have some common terms. So I'm going to move this 2x squared to the front. It's the only one of its kind. It's the only one with the degree of 2. And we have 3 terms with degree of x. But first I'm going to move this to the left side. So adding this 2x and this 6x, we get plus 8x. And the 6 is just tagged on. We're going to add this 5 to this side. So we're going to do plus 5x equal to 0. And now we can add this term and this term. So you have 2x squared plus 8 plus 5 is 13x plus 6 is equal to 0. And now we're going to factor this polynomial. So it's a polynomial where a is not 1. So we're looking at the factors of 2. There's only one possible, since 2 is prime, there's only 2x plus something times x plus something. It's going to be in this pattern. And now looking at the factors of 6, we need to have a certain pattern where they add to 13. This 2x will multiply whatever factor this is, and then add to whatever this is to make 13x. So knowing that, if we have 2 times 6, which is a factor of 6, and then we have a 1 here, we know that we'll get 13x. So we have 2x plus 1 times x plus 6 is the factorization of this polynomial. And so we know, solving each of these, setting each of these equal to 0, we get the values of x equals -1/2, and x is equal to -6. So those are our possible answers, and we have to go back and look at what our domain was. So our domain, what our x cannot be, was 0 and -3, and neither of these x's are 0 or -3. So we know that we've solved it and that these are valid answers right here.